Hello and welcome to City Life. I'm Beverly Thompson, your host. Did you know that there was an urban living laboratory right here in Durham? Well, here to give us the scoop on this resident-led and problem-solving initiative is Wanona Satcher. Wanona is a project manager for the Durham Urban Innovation Center with the city's Neighborhood Improvement Services Department. Welcome, Wanona.
Hi, Beverly. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Glad to be here again.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Wanona, many of our viewers might be really intrigued to know exactly what an urban living laboratory might be.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit more about it.
Basically, as far as the mission of the center itself, it's a laboratory, a place where we can creatively experiment and explore ideas to solve problems within our communities. So the idea behind this urban living, breathing thing is that it strives to meet the citizens where they are. And so we jokingly say that the center is wherever the citizens are. It's a place where citizens can feel not only accountable but responsive and creative in the way that they solve problems, and we are here to help them do that.
Okay, all right. Well, why is a living laboratory like the Durham Urban Center needed here in Durham?
Sure.
And why is it the right fit for this community?
The urban living laboratory, and that's used widely in the urban design community. But basically, when we explain what that is with our citizens and residents, they really understand that it's a place that is living. And so the best way for us as city officials, we believe, to solve problems or to talk about economic development challenges, housing challenges, is to be a part of the life structure that we have. And so to creatively move with the challenges and the lifestyles of our dynamic lifestyles we have in Durham, we feel that it's best to be relatable in the sense of, hey, Durham, we have such a dynamic community, how can we better include all of our residents within one place, whether it's talking about transit or development or housing. So that's where we get the urban living laboratory idea from, and that's why we feel Durham really needs one, because we have so many challenges like other cities, but they are so specific to a wonderful place like Durham.
Okay, and if you know Durham like I know Durham, citizens are involved in everything.
Right.
So citizens are a part of this.
Yes, and actually the Urban Innovation Center, it stemmed from the Northeast Central Durham Livability Initiative, which was when I first met you a couple of years back on this show for the first time. And it is a platform where we continue the engagement process with the citizens. But the cool part about the DUIC, as we also call it, the acronym, is that it's citizen-led and citizen-supported. And so we work directly with the grassroots on issues, and then we take those issues, creatively figure out how to solve them, and then we then present that to the rest of the city and county officials.
Very interesting. Well, now give me some kinds of examples of problems that you would help solve.
Sure. The DUIC is comprised of 4 labs or 4 components, and one of those components, which is a heavy topic right now, is urban agriculture. And so with the push from the Mayor Bill Bell, and the residents, we are really talking about innovative ways to promote urban agriculture. The challenge is, how do we feed our residents, especially those in low wealth areas? Even more important, how do we feed our residents differently than other cities are doing, because we are in competition globally? How do we find innovative financing methods to do that? How do we use partners in RTP, Research Triangle Park, to feed our residents, and also work with academia and so forth? That's an example of one major issue and challenge, how to feed our growing population.
Well, let me ask you a question, bringing that down to the grassroots level. Is that about planting gardens, or is it about bringing a grocery store to a neighborhood?
All of the above. So it's about planting urban gardens. It's about teaching children how to do that, how to eat properly, what does it mean to eat properly. It's about job creation. It's about working with our financial institutions to figure out a way to innovatively finance small agribusinesses, promoting healthy foods. There's so many kids out there in our neighborhoods, and I always tell this story, who don't even know where tomatoes come from. They think they're grown at McDonald's. And that's scary, and I've actually heard that. And so we are missing something there. How do we use food to connect schools, kids, our elderly, providing access within the farmers markets, how to start farmers markets? How do we have ordinances written for us to have agribusinesses available? So it hits all different types of demographics.
It sounds like you'd be a great resource. I mean, this is really good.
We
Really
hope so.
interesting.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, is this really new, a new concept? Have other cities done similar initiatives like this?
Yes and no. It's definitely new in Durham, and we hope that it's a new way of seeing life and responding to life's challenges that other cities haven't seen. Now, we did a lot of research throughout the Livability Initiative in Northeast Central Durham for the last 2 years on what this center would look like, what does it mean. And so we took lots of different hybrid, we created a hybrid model looking at lots of different programs in other cities, nonprofit organizations, community development corporations, other urban centers within other departments in other cities, and we created our own Durham-specific model. So we didn't want to really reinvent the wheel, but we do realize that our citizens are unique and dynamic.
Okay. Well, where is the DUIC located?
So like I said in the beginning, we usually are saying that the DUIC is wherever we are. So right now on the set, we are in the center.
Oh,
yeah. But no, the DUIC is located in Neighborhood Improvement Services Department in Golden Belt, East Main Street, within the Community Engagement Division. And as many people know or may not know, NIS has human relations and code enforcement also, and the impact team. And so it's great to be able to be in an environment where we can talk to landlords at the same time, talk to human relations, and then bring all of that together in our PAC meetings and other events that we do. So it really is embedded within the Neighborhood Improvement Services Department through the Livability Initiative.
But really, when you say is everywhere, what do you mean?
So it's a center that is for everybody. We are here for the citizens. So if a resident comes up to us and says, you know, in PAC 3 we have a different issue with transit than we do in PAC 1. And so what does that mean? What are the questions that we ask to see, okay, well, number one, what are the challenges? Is it that your community isn't as walkable as PAC 1? Is it that you don't have access to healthy food gardens because you can't walk to them, or because the gardens aren't next to bus stops? What really does that mean? And then PAC 1 might have a challenge where the challenge is, okay, well, we don't even have enough hours at a local grocery store to be able to access food. So that's a different problem. Now that's an economic development problem. So wherever the residents are, we are there with them. And we become a voice for the residents that then we can transfer and transcribe to our politicians, our lobbyists, and so forth, to then say what kind of policies can we create to bridge these gaps, and also to make the connections. And so one of the really interesting parts about the center is that, yes, in PAC 3 there might be a transit challenge, and then in PAC 1 there might be a challenge with the economic development, the running of the day-to-day operations of a grocery store. The DUIC can come in and say, okay, hey, here's one solution, here's another, but what's most important about it is we can have a solution for both because they're both related. So I might live in PAC 3 but need to go to PAC 1, and if I can't go to PAC 1 and get into a store, then I've wasted my time. And so we're here to also show the connections and the networks between these different facets of Durham.
Okay, well I know you mentioned earlier there were 4 living labs. Just to be clear, what are those 4?
The first one that I mentioned in no particular order is the Durham Network of Agriculture and Policy Research. And policy research basically is what it sounds like. So we right now are working with 5 graduate student interns writing policies on housing, and their recommendations based off of research that we found in other cities to say, hey, this is what other cities are doing. Maybe this can influence how we do business when it comes to housing. The other lab or component is Citizen Research and Design and Development, and that's looking at what is the vision of Durham from a citizen standpoint. If they're small business owners, what do they see as their vision for Durham? If they're senior citizens, what is their vision for Durham? And then having the DUIC, which has design information and instruments and tools, we can then take our design language and apply it to the grassroots about what they want to see within their city. The third lab or component is public information, and the fourth lab or component is social innovation entrepreneurship. And Durham is known for our innovation and known for our entrepreneurialism. We all know that. However, how far-reaching is it to our low-wealth communities, to our inner-city communities? Can we teach a child who's 13 how to start a biotech company because our TP is right down the street? Can we really do that? Can we harness that creativity and love for energy and the environment itself to make a difference? So we are very well-rounded. We're very dynamic. We actually have a term for what we do, and that is urban acupuncture. And so what that means is we basically take a little dab and hit the nerve, and it causes a stir, and then all of a sudden you have creativity.
Interesting.
And that sometimes is what it takes.
Okay. Well, I know that we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Wanona about the Durham Urban Innovation Center and meet a resident and local business owner who is working to build a better block. We'll be right back.
For every one of these spots, there are at least 5 to 24 others for you to use. Many folks think that people with disabilities are getting special treatment with these parking spaces, but it's really a safety issue, not a convenience. Many drivers backing out of a parking space can't see a person with a disability. Remember, accessible parking is a civil right built on safety. For more information, call the Americans with Disabilities Act Information Center at 800-949-4232.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking with Wanona Satcher about the efforts of the Durham Urban Innovation Center. Joining me again is Wanona, along with Carolyn Holloway. Carolyn, also known around town by many as Tootie, is working with the DUIC to build a better block. Welcome back, Wanona.
Thank you.
And thank you, Carolyn, for joining me.
You're welcome.
Wanona, in the first segment, you described Durham's first urban living laboratory and why it's needed here in Durham. So tell me just what exactly it means for residents here in Durham.
So it means a lot. It is a foundation that allows, it's a platform that allows the residents to be completely immersed in city government, in community engagement, that is okay to be immersed and learn more than what you have, and to do more with what you have. The DUIC is a citizen-led, citizen resident-driven, and it's definitely a city-supported platform, and so that even makes it more interesting because you have city support. You were able to not work in silos within the DUIC, and so the citizens have opportunities to work with other departments, as well as they have a leadership role in how things get done, policies get driven, and how solutions come to fruition.
Okay, all right. And so, Carolyn, you're here with us to talk about exactly what you're doing. I know you're part of the public information component of this, is the Public Information Lab, to be exact, that Wanona talked about a little earlier. Tell us a little bit more about the project that you're working on called Build a Better Block.
Well, we've come up with a project called Build a Better Block, but we added Tootie because I have a small cafe and grill in the Andrew Driver area. So basically what we are trying to do is we're trying to revitalize an area that has been forgotten and bring more businesses into the community so we can have our own small businesses. You know, it's a lot of businesses that are just sitting there. There's a lot of empty and vacant buildings. So basically what we want to do is have it where the community can have their own drugstore, grocery store, restaurant, pharmacy, post office, bank, you know, without going outside of the community. You know, we want to provide a nightlife where, you know, we can drive crime out of the area and make people feel comfortable with coming into the East Durham area and bring money back into that neighborhood. You know, we want to do things for kids, and, you know, like I said, we just want to revitalize that area and just make it real nice. So that's what the Build a Better Block with Tootie program consists of.
Okay, so why did you decide personally to get involved?
Well, I got involved because I was born and raised in Durham, and growing up, you know, there was a lot of stuff that people didn't have to go out of the neighborhood to enjoy or do, and you know, I got involved because I want to provide a safe haven for the neighborhood, and like I said, Durham has a lot of history in it, and the East Durham area also has a lot of history that people has forgotten, or some people that have moved here from different areas don't know about. So again, I got involved because I want to see some changes.
Okay. What have you done so far?
So far, what we've done is I have a restaurant, and I've did some renovations on my restaurant. We've did some cleanups on different streets where we went in and just cleaned it up, you know. picked up trash. We've started doing things with the kids, like we had, you know, painting for the kids, and we're planning on having our Build a Block program the last of October. We meet every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6 on Andrew at 2112.
Okay.
And this weekend we're planning a small fashion show. We did the National Night Out, where I provided hot dogs for the neighbors.
I remember that. I was there.
And so we're trying to do some things before we have our big Build a Block with Tootie grand opening. So like I said, we've got a lot of stuff that we have started doing. We have a lot of people that's coming in and want to participate, you know, and it's just amazing to see people come in and say, you know what, this is a good project and we want to be involved.
Well, how would you encourage people to get involved? I mean, what would you say to them? Why is this such a benefit?
I would say get involved, because this is going to be, it's going to be some changes in the East Durham community, and I, myself, and the city, we're going to give back some stuff. You know, I've already started giving. You know, I just want to see things come in the area and see a good nightlife. I mean, right now, you know, it's like it's very dull down there. We want to brighten up the area. You know, we want to have nice storefronts, you know, where people can come through and drive through and say, wow, you know, is this the old East Durham area?
Right. So, Wanona, how have you worked with Tootie to accomplish what has been done so far?
Right, so Tootie and I actually met one hot Sunday on the street. She was working on her commissary and restaurant, and ever since then, we've been involved in working together heavily with the meetings, organizing small events that will lead up to the big October 27th event there in East Driver Street and Andrew Avenue, coordinating with Tootie and her family on not only the events, but the publicity, the marketing, forming committees to do the volunteer work, the fundraiser work, meeting people like you and talking about our project publicly, and really just getting out into the community, going to various meetings, talking to residents at the food truck rodeo and other places at Tootie, her food truck, they go to different events. And so we've been working nonstop, literally, and we talk till dawn almost every night, and especially on Sundays we plan, and then we move from there.
Oh, very active. So how do residents get in contact with you to find more about DUIC?
To get in contact with the DUIC and the Better Block, which is a project within the DUIC, they can contact me at Neighborhood Improvement Services Department. The phone number is 919-560-1647, extension 34227. We are at the Golden Belt building. We would love for folks to stop by and not only talk with us about Better Block, but talk to us about different project ideas. Also available during a lot of the PAC meetings and our PAC newsletters. We hope to continue to put more information about the Better Block and other projects. The idea essentially is, even though, as an example, the Better Block is focused in East Durham as a pilot community, but we want other neighborhoods to be part of it so that we can then extend and replicate the Better Block to other neighborhoods in Durham. So this is a great time to bring everyone together and all the different resources.
What's the most important thing about this project that you want people to know about?
The most important thing about this project is that we will be the first in the state to do it.
Oh, okay.
And East Durham would be a wonderful place to have the sort of inauguration of the project. The second most important thing is that it's a citizen-led initiative. And so when you have the ability in one night to redevelop a block, and in 30 days have storefronts for potential businesses so that they can get exposure, you create a new environment. You create happiness, you create responsibility, you create safety, as Tootie mentioned, you create diversity in the area, and you mostly create reinvestment, and that's the key. You know, we have 9th Street, we have Main Street, all these wonderful places, and East Durham, that corridor used to be the main place. And like a lot of cities, we are going through transitional changes, and we think that we can show the rest of the country how it should be done.
Interesting stuff. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Have to have you back.
we'll, after the October 27th, we'll be back. And we'll give a report on how it goes.
All right, can't wait to hear that. Well, coming up in the next segment, there are some new and friendly faces walking the streets of downtown Durham. We'll meet the leader of this group and learn what it all means to you. We'll be right back.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Drink from the tap. A $3 bottle of water a day times 10 years times 6% interest is over 14,000 clams. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Teaching a kid football is one thing. Keeping a kid in school, that's the name of my game. My name is LaDainian Thompson. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Welcome back to City Life. If you haven't been to downtown Durham lately, you're in for a real treat. Walking the streets are some very helpful folks ready to provide you and your family with incredible hospitality that will have you coming back to downtown again and again. Joining me to talk about the Downtown Improvement District Clean and Safe Ambassadors team is Liz Wilson. Liz is the manager of the Ambassadors team. Welcome, Liz, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Liz, get us started by talking about this team, what your background is, and how it all got started.
Well, it all got started with a lot of citizens and some people at Downtown Durham Incorporated that were interested in starting a business improvement district. They worked with the stakeholders, the private sector businesses, the city of Durham and the county of Durham, and together they formed this bid. And the bid, they brought us into the bid to do the cleaning and safety aspect of well, more cleaning and hospitality aspect of it. Although we like to think of ourselves as a presence, we're more there to smile and say hello and give you directions than we are to get in the middle of anything.
Okay. Well, talk about what it is you actually do then, and how many people you use to carry out what you do.
Okay. Well, the Clean and Safe program right now consists of myself, a supervisor, and 6 full-time staff. We also have 3 staff that come from the city, from Department of Economic and Workforce Development. Yes, and they provide 3 of our staff, 3 full-time staff on a temporary basis.
Okay. Now tell me what it is you do. What services do you actually provide?
Well, the main service that we provide that people are used to seeing already since August is the cleaning service. We have a group that does pan and broom, and they push a cart around, and we actually cover each of the city blocks in downtown Durham. In addition to cleaning the tops of street furniture and picking up litter and debris, they also do weeding. And then we have a team that does special projects, and part of our team does pressure washing as well.
Okay. Well, when can our viewers expect to actually run into our ambassadors?
We are there from Monday to Friday, and we're there from 7 to 10 on most days. And then we're there on Saturday from 7 to 3:30.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break right now. I know that was quick, but we'll be back. Okay. So coming up right after this break, we'll talk more with Liz about the ambassador team and how you can report any issues or concerns you see directly to them. We'll be right back.
Are you throwing away unused and expired drugs? Stop! Don't throw them away in the trash can, flush them down the toilet, or pour them down the sink. Doing so could cause accidental poisonings, abuse, and harm to our environment. Statistics have shown that dozens of prescription and over-the-counter drugs have been found in the drinking water of an estimated 46 million Americans. Properly disposing of unwanted medication is simple and easy. Just drop them off in the lobby of the Durham Police Department headquarters at 505 West Chapel Hill Street. We've installed a permanent medicine drop box where you can throw away unwanted medications 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The permanent drop box is easy and convenient, and you remain anonymous. So what are you waiting for? We'll dispose of the medicines in a safe and non-hazardous manner, and you'll be keeping Durham a little safer.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking with Liz Wilson. She's a manager for the Downtown Improvement District Clean and Safe Ambassador team. Thanks for staying with us, Liz.
Thank you.
Liz, I know your team is made up of some downtown residents, downtown local people.
Absolutely.
Tell us about them.
All of our staff are Durham residents, and they're all interestingly making Durham's prevailing wage, and in looks like about 6 weeks, most of them are going to be eligible for insurance as well. My guys are really knowledgeable about the city, very helpful, there to give directions, just a great bunch of guys.
How many are there?
There are 10 total.
Okay. And they have different assignments?
Yes, most of them work the clean team, and then we have 2 that work hospitality exclusively, a supervisor and 1 staff who are in the evenings, and their job is to be there kind of if you're coming to American Tobacco or you're going to Brightleaf Square for something in the evening, they're kind of there to let you know what's open or what's going on.
Okay. What have their experiences been?
It's been wonderful so far. We have one of the work order things is kudo, our subjects is kudos, and they love to fill that out, and it's always so exciting at the end of the day when I do their work orders to see what they have to say, because you know we've got one guy in particular who came to us from the city, and he always has something just very exciting in his work orders. You know, they told us we rocked out or something like that.
Oh, cool.
You know, it just and we really do get a lot of that. We've got a lot of just very wonderful feedback from the residents and the business owners in downtown.
That's great. I know you've done this kind of work before. Tell us about your past, your background.
Well, I came here from Raleigh, where I was working on Hillsborough Street as
We won't
their
hold that
manager.
against you, by the way. So.
Thank you. And I was working there doing the same thing, but I was working with volunteers there as opposed to here where we have full-time staff. And before that, I was actually pushing a cart. I was a paint and broom ambassador in Jacksonville, Florida for 2 years.
Okay. Well, I understand you're encouraging visitors and residents downtown to actually engage with your ambassadors by phone or online or with them in person. Talk to me about why this is important.
Well, it's really good for people who are going downtown to be able to find out what's going on immediately. If they haven't researched it before they came downtown, or if they don't want to research it, they don't have to, because we're there and we know what's going on, and we can get on our phones if we need to and find out more information or get them where they need to go. We're all about problem solving and making downtown attractive to everybody who lives there, works there, or just comes there to visit.
Well, we certainly appreciate your work, and I think it's making a difference. Well, tell us, what is the most important thing you want our viewers to remember about what you do?
I think the most important thing is for the viewers to use the phone number, use the website. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. You can, when you call the number, you get me directly.
Okay.
It's my phone. That's why I said we don't ever take it off.
What is that number, by the way?
That number is 919-682-2855, which is also 682-BULL.
Okay. All right. 682-BULL.
Yes.
All right. Liz, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're actually a welcome addition to downtown.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that does it for this edition of City Life. If you have a comment or a future show idea, visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. You can also keep up with all of the latest city news by following us on our Twitter feed. Of course, you can also watch all of our program on demand from the DTVA webpage and the city's YouTube channel. I'm Beverly Thompson. Thank you so much for joining me to learn more about city life in Durham.